Hello there and welcome to December, where we have a return to solar activity, meteor showers and the planetary conjunction of a lifetime. Now, first of all, a look at some IAA events coming up. These, of course, are Zoom lectures because of the COVID pandemic, but we hope to get back to normality sometime next year. But for the moment, this is how it is. 2nd of December 1930, we have Professor Katrina Jackman from the Dublin Institute of Advanced Studies is coming to talk to us about adventures in the outer solar system. That's the Cassini mission and more. Then our next one on the 16th of December 1930, we have Dr. Gavin Ramsey coming to talk to us from Armagh Observatory and Planetarium on the subject of gravitational waves optical transient observer. That's a new project by Gavin and others at AOP to detect optical counterparts to gravitational wave events. And coming back in the new year after Christmas, on the 6th of January 2021 at 1930, we have our long-time friend Professor Stephen Smart from Queen's University Belfast searching for kilanovae in the nearby universe. So they're all on Zoom and simulcast on YouTube. Go to our website irishastro.org for full details of how to sign in to those. Now, the exciting news for December is that things are livening up very much on the Sun as solar cycle 25 gets off to a flying start. We now have 3 main sunspot groups on the Sun and another one coming round the edge. Pete Williamson from astroradio.earth took this one, and this was actually taken on the 29th of November. Shows active region 2786 being very lively. That's probably the largest spot we've seen in 2 or 3 years. And so solar cycle 25 getting on there, but the best is coming around now. Not only do we have a return to sunspots, and looking like they're mostly in the southern hemisphere at the moment as well. I don't know why that is. But also we had an M4.4 class flare just over the edge of the Sun. We saw that, and we're waiting for that sunspot to come around to see what it looks like, because it looks quite interesting. So that's the Sun. The received wisdom has been that solar cycle 25 is expected to be much the same as 24, but that is to say not terribly lively. But we look and we wait and see that the experts might be confounded on this. It's getting off to really quite a good start. Now then, looking at the planets, Jupiter is bright in the southwest immediately after sunset, and Saturn is closing in very much on it. Now keep an eye on that. We'll talk more about this towards the end of the programme, but on the 21st of December we have a grand conjunction. Then Mars is still fairly bright, but it's fading now as it moves further away from the Earth. Rising in the east before 8 p.m, high in the south around about midnight. Magnitude, it's dropping from magnitude -2 down towards -1 and towards 0 towards the end of the month. So there we are. That's now Venus is still visible for a while in the morning. That also is moving to its position behind the Sun, but you still get a little bit of Venus in the morning, still very bright, but closer to sunrise now. Mercury you can just about catch in the first couple of days of December in the morning, very close to the horizon, southeast horizon, just before sunrise. Quite difficult to see now. Uranus and Neptune you can capture. They're visible most of the night. Uranus is close to Mars, and Neptune is down in Aquarius below the Great Square of Pegasus, and you can find either of those in binoculars or a small telescope. They're not spectacular. Uranus appears as a green blob, Neptune is a blue blob, and neither of them are really naked eye objects. Some people say they've seen Uranus naked eye because it's just on the cusp of visibility at magnitude -5.8 or thereabouts. Now we do have a comet in the sky, Comet C/2020 M3 Atlas, and it's up in the area of Auriga, so pretty easy to find. Actually in the Pentagon, that is Auriga, near Messier 36. So I've set this graphic here for the 8th of December, and that gets the moon nicely out of the way. This has been observed at magnitude 7.8, so this is not, I'm afraid, another comet NEO-wise for 2020, but one good comet in a year is pretty good going. But this is visible probably in binoculars, or will show the characteristic green colour on photographs. But there we are, Comet C 2020 M3 Atlas in Auriga. Now then, the International Space Station will appear in December skies in two distinct batches. First of all, the first 8 days of the month, there will be evening passes visible from Ireland, and these will be running through to the 8th of December. Then there's another group of morning passes starting on the 20th and running through into January. Now, the important thing to remember about the International Space Station is there are astronauts on board, and indeed the latest batch of astronauts went up on the Crew Dragon spacecraft, Resilience, on the 15th of November. So there are now unusually 7 astronauts on the International Space Station, so do give them a wave as they come past. Now, December wouldn't be December without the Geminid Meteor Shower, which runs from the 4th to the 17th or thereabouts. It's a fairly broad peak, but the peak is on the 13th and 14th night. And the good news is that the moon is new on the 14th, so we will be unimpeded by moonlight, which means we can see a lot fainter meteor streaks. This, of course, is unusual, and it's not a comet like most meteor showers. This one's actually caused by the debris trail of an asteroid, 3200 Phaeton, rather than a comet. The thing to do, go and get your sun lounger and lie down in the garden and look upwards by all means. After midnight is best. But look sort of not at the radiant, which is just above the star Pollux, the pair Castor and Pollux in Gemini. But look about 30 degrees away from that for the best view, which means looking at sort of places like Orion, Auriga, Taurus, that sort of part of the sky, even down into Leo, will get you some good meteors. So fingers crossed for clear skies, of course, but that's the Geminid meteor shower. We also have another meteor shower visible in December, really from the 17th to the 25th and peaking on the 22nd, 23rd. That's the Ursid meteor shower. Nothing like as vigorous as the Geminids, but well worth a look anyway. The radiant actually is in Ursa Minor rather than Ursa Major, but so actually looking into the Plough is a good place to look for meteors there. The moon is at first quarter, so it's best to look at that after midnight. That's the Ursid meteor shower, 22nd, 23rd of December. Right, so here we are looking south today, 6th of November, 5:15 in the evening, and we're focusing here on Saturn. And we're going to keep Saturn in the centre of the picture there, and we're going to advance the date one by one, and we should watch the dance of Jupiter and Saturn closing in together, going into December now, coming along here to the 16th, 17th, 19th, 20th, 21st. Okay, and Saturn and Jupiter have come right together, and let's zoom in on that. We're looking now about an hour after sunset here, but we could do it a bit earlier. And as we zoom into these, we see that they are very, very, very close together. One of the closest planetary conjunctions ever. In fact, they are. There's Saturn with its rings, Jupiter with its equatorial belts, and if we do the measurement on this, we can just about say they are. That's 6 arc minutes, so 1/5 of a moon diameter, and that should be absolutely spectacular. So there you have it, the finest planetary conjunction since 1623. It will happen again in 2080, so if I live a very long time I may see it again, but the trouble with the 2080 conjunction is that it happens in the morning. So is there enough coffee? So that's all I have to say, apart from Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe and keep looking up.